Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the TNA Bound for Glory 2015 results show. As we run this down, I can honestly say that I missed about the first hour of the show due to the fact that I wasn't off of work yet. But I can honestly say that the TNA Bound for Glory had an awesome feeling at the end of the show with Matt Hardy becoming World Heavyweight Champion. I was always a big Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys. Matt Hardy is the singles, all about V1 back in the day when he was a heel on SmackDown and everything that they used to do. I really used to root for this guy until the point when he was trying his best to get fired from WWF. Then of course he would leave. He would go to WWE. He would leave WWE, go to TNA, and then have all sorts of troubles there along the way. His run in TNA wouldn't last that long. He would go get cleaned up, and now he just runs the indies pretty much, working a lot of them. He was working for Ring of Honor until his deal came up with Ring of Honor, and then he went to reunite with the Hardys in TNA, and the run has been up and down a little bit because of injuries, especially with Jeff breaking his leg. But what a feel-good moment! It reminds me a lot of when he finally won the ECW World Heavyweight Championship in WWE ECW. I think he beat Matt Hardy. I think Matt Hardy beat Mark Henry, I think is who he beat. But really, really fun stuff that goes along the way here. But as you run down the show, the opening match was the Ultimate X match between Zema Ion, Manic, and Andrew Everett, featuring the champion Tigre Uno. Tigre Uno was able to win the match, and then after the match was over, when he was celebrating, none other than Hurricane Shane Helms made his way out to the ring. Once he got to the ring, he snuck up from behind pretty much on Tigre Uno, and then when Tigre Uno turned around, these two had a face-off, and then they shook hands and left the ring. It's been a long time since Shane Helms left WWE, and I think that I honestly thought that he was going to, appear in TNA very soon after that, but it took a long time for him to be there. Obviously, he's been out of TNA for at least 4 to 5 years. I think that he was released in 2010. Some people said that there was sort of, friction between Velvet Sky and Shane Helms being the reason why, she was keeping him out. She said on Twitter a few times that she didn't. One thing leads to another. Shane Helms is finally there, and it looks like he's going to be joining the X division for TNA in the foreseeable future. From there, we go to the Bound for Gold Gauntlet match, which was actually set up a lot like a Royal Rumble, and I thought it was going to be a battle royal, I think is what it would say. Came down to Anderson and Tyrus in the finish. Tyrus was able to get the win. He became the new #1 contender for the World Heavyweight title once the match was over. Christy Hemme got into the ring to interview Tyrus, but Ethan Carter III came running out of the back, took over the interview, basically saying that him and Tyrus were going to be running after the TNA tag titles soon, and basically Tyrus cut him off, saying that no, his goal is to become World Heavyweight Champion, which Ethan Carter got very, he sort of got really upset about the fact, but it looked like they were about to go at it, but cooler heads prevailed, and Tyrus and EC3 left the ring. From there, we go to Trevor Lee and Brian Myers going up against the Wolves, in which I thought was honestly going to be a squash match, just to get the fact over that TNA is better than Global Force Wrestling, but Lee and Myers had control of most of the match early on. At the end, the Wolves were able to prevail, keeping their championships and TNA, and I don't know if that means Trevor Lee, who was on last week's Impact, or Brian Myers are still going to be around in TNA. It's a good sign that they were on the show tonight, and but we'll have to see. There's no real talk about them staying there, it seemed like, with the commentary. From there, we went to Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Roode in the Battle of the Bobbies for the King of the Mountain Championship. This match was a monkey see, monkey do, I can do better than you kind of a match, basically with anything you can do, I can do better. At the end, we had Bobby Roode retaining his championship after hitting his spear, which would be Bobby Lashley's move, and then following it up with a Roode bomb, and the 1-2-3 after the match. Roode and Lashley hesitated, but they did shake hands as a show of respect between the two. I don't know. Honestly, if they're going to be having King of the Mountain title matches, honestly, the matches should be held in King of the Mountain matches. So, I don't know if this means that TNA already regrets the fact that they brought this championship back, but I don't think it's going to be around in TNA for the foreseeable future. From there, we talk about the Awesome Kong versus Gail Kim match, which had a funny moment with Hugh. I was gonna call him Hugh Hefner, but with Hebner getting in a fight with Gail Kim's husband on the outside. It was funny because Earl Hebner was just put into the TNA Hall of Fame. Basically, the segment before this. It wasn't done live for Bound for Glory. It was done on tape. It was all edited together, showing the best Hebner moments and lots of pictures with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with Ric Flair, and some of the biggest stars that he's been in the ring with and officiated matches with along the way. Basically, Gail Kim won this match. I still don't know how she did it. She was standing on top of the ring rope. Kong came in to hit some sort of a move, but Gail Kim countered it, and then from the floor rolled up Gail Kim Gail Kim rolled up Awesome Kong for a 1-2-3 and got the win from there. We go to Eric Young versus Kurt Angle, which after announcements from both of these guys in promos, Eric Young and Kurt Angle basically said this was going to be a no disqualification match. Moments into the match, after a pile driver. I always have to do the pile driver motion to be able to remember the name. Eric Young hit a pile driver on Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle rolled out of the ring. Basically, agents and referees stepped in and said this match was over. Kurt Angle was not going to be able to continue. And then they started putting Kurt Angle on a stretcher and wheeling him up the top of the ramp. From there, Eric Young came over and he attacked the referees. He attacked the paramedics, got Angle off of the stretcher, brought him down to the ring, tried to give him another pile driver onto the exposed floor. Kurt Angle was able to reverse it with Eric Young taking a bump on the floor instead, and then getting back into the ring, fighting around for a little bit. It seemed like Kurt Angle was always on the defense in this match, never really getting anything, always holding the side of his head, selling the fact that he took the pile driver so early on in the match. Eric Young tries for another pile driver from the second rope. This time, Kurt Angle is able to slip out of it and immediately locks on the ankle lock. Kurt Angle gets the victory. And then we go on to Matt Hardy versus Drew Galloway and Ethan Carter III. Of course, Matt Hardy gets the championship, and big surprise, the 2-year run of Ethan Carter III as undefeated and as champion is ended. A good feeling with the Hardys, bringing their father, bringing Rebby Sky, bringing Baby Hardy into the ring, and they're one of the reasons why they did it there. But Matt Hardy on top, the champion of TNA, and that's the end of Bound for Glory 2015.